Level 1. The seed of suggestion. Level 1 is the seed of suggestion. This is where manipulation truly begins. It doesn't shout, it whispers, it doesn't demand, it plants. A single idea is slipped into your mind so quietly that you believe it was always yours. Picture this. You walk past a bakery, you weren't hungry, you had no plans to eat, but the smell of fresh bread hits you. Suddenly, you want it. You might even convince yourself, I was hungry all along. But that's not the truth. The truth is, the smell was a suggestion. This is how subtle manipulation works. Advertisers know it, politicians know it, even friends and family know it. A word here, an image there, a phrase repeated over and over until it becomes familiar. And once it feels familiar, your brain accepts it as natural. Psychologists call this priming. The mind gets prepared to react a certain way without realizing it, like soil that has been softened before the seed is dropped in. Later, when the right moment comes, the seed grows into action, and you believe you chose freely, but you didn't. The danger of suggestion is its invisibility. You can resist arguments, you can reject commands, but how do you fight what you cannot see? How do you push back against a thought that feels like it came from within? The manipulator doesn't force you, they guide you. They tilt your perspective, just slightly, until the choice feels like it was always yours. That's the brilliance of suggestion. You are convinced you are free, even as you move exactly where they want you to go. If suggestion is the silent seed, then persuasion is the growing vine, visible, powerful, and harder to escape. And if the seed feels invisible, wait until you face persuasion. Level 2. The web of persuasion. Level 2 is persuasion. If suggestion is a whisper, persuasion is a voice that wraps around you, clear, strong, hard to ignore. Think of a politician on stage. They use numbers, yes, but also stories. They mix fear with hope. They don't just speak to your mind, they speak to your emotions. And here's the twist. Your emotions usually win. Daniel Kahneman proved this. We feel first. We rationalize later. The persuader knows this. They don't argue with your logic. They build a story where you want their conclusion to be true. A salesman says, "This isn't just a car, it's freedom. It's who you are." Suddenly, you're not buying steel and wheels. You're buying identity. You think you chose it, but the web was already around you. And persuasion feels fair. You believe you're in control. But were you? Or were you gently pulled to a decision that never really belonged to you? That's the danger of persuasion. It doesn't look like chains. It looks like choice. But if persuasion is the web, the next level is even stronger. Because it doesn't just pull your feelings, it pulls your very sense of belonging. Level 3. The mirror of belonging. Level 3 is belonging. Humans are wired for connection. We want to be part of something bigger, and manipulators know it. Here, the trick isn't logic, it's identity. People like us do things like this. That simple phrase is enough to trap you. Teenagers smoke, not because they enjoy it, but because their friends do. People wear brands not for comfort, but for the status. Online, we join movements, share hashtags, follow trends. Why? Because the group does, and if we don't, we risk being left out. Carl Jung warned that when the collective dominates, the individual disappears. That's what happens here. You stop asking, do I want this? Instead, you ask, is this what we do? Belonging feels safe. It feels warm. But it also blinds you. Once the group defines your choices, you're no longer free. You're following a mirror, reflecting everyone else, losing sight of yourself. This is manipulation through identity, and it works because no one wants to be alone. But if belonging makes you follow, the next level is darker, because there, you don't just follow, you depend. Level 4. The strings of dependency. Level 4 is dependency. Here, manipulation stops being gentle. It becomes dangerous, because now, your freedom is tied to someone else's approval. Think of a toxic partner who whispers, "No one will ever love you like I do," or a boss who suggests, "Your future depends on me." Slowly, your self-worth is trapped in their hands. You begin to doubt yourself. Every choice runs through them. Every step waits for their signal. You're like a puppet. The strings aren't heavy chains, but they control every move. This is how dependency works. What feels like love is really control. What feels like care is really a cage. You stay because you fear what happens if you leave. Viktor Frankl once wrote, "Those who have a why can bear almost any how." The manipulator twists this truth. They give you a false why. They convince you that they are your reason. And for that illusion, you endure pain, humiliation, even destruction. Dependency is slavery disguised as devotion. And once you accept it, breaking free feels impossible. But there's one more level, the final stage, and there. The manipulator doesn't just pull your strings, they build the stage itself. Level 5. The architecture of reality. Level 5 is the architecture of reality. This is the highest form of manipulation. It doesn't just influence your choices, it reshapes the very world in which those choices exist. Think of propaganda. Repeat a lie enough times, and it becomes truth. Rewrite history, and people forget what really happened. A cult leader does the same. They decide what's good, what's evil, what's real, what's false. And inside their walls, followers accept it, because no other version of reality exists. Even today, algorithms play this game. They decide what news you see, what videos appear, what voices get amplified. Little by little, your reality is built for you. And within that cage, you move freely, thinking you chose the path. But the path was chosen long before you. This is the peak of manipulation. It doesn't control your actions directly. It controls your perception. And once perception is shaped, freedom becomes an illusion. So, here's the question. If reality itself can be manipulated, how do you ever know what's real? That is the final danger. Not the seed, not the web, not the strings, but the invisible walls of the world you live in. So, here they are. The 5 levels of manipulation. The seed of suggestion. The web of persuasion. The mirror of belonging. The strings of dependency. And the architecture of reality. Each level climbs higher, each one less visible, each one harder to fight. But awareness is the shield. The moment you see the trick, its power fades. You cannot stop others from trying to manipulate, but you can refuse to be blind. True power is not the ability to control others. True power is the courage to see clearly, to choose freely, and to live without chains on your mind. If this spoke to you, give it a like. Share in the comments which level you've seen most in your own life. And subscribe if you want more insights into psychology, power, and the human mind.